Haiti is in chaos this morning, one day after President Jovenel Moise was assassinated by gunmen who stormed his home. His wife was seriously hurt in the attack outside the capital, Port-au-Prince. Haiti's police chief says officers killed 4 suspects and captured 2 others yesterday. The interim prime minister says he remains in charge. The United Nations plans to meet today to try and keep an already volatile situation from getting out of control. The assassins arrived in trucks after midnight, claiming to be agents of the U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration. A U.S. government source told Reuters the DEA had nothing to do with the killing. The gunmen, reportedly speaking Spanish and English, descended on President Jovenel Moise's private residence and opened fire. The 53-year-old leader was killed. His wife, the First Lady, also shot, flown out of the country and brought to Miami. She remains in critical condition. By morning, bullet casings were seen on the grounds outside his home. Haitian ambassador to the United States, Rochit Edmond.
It seems that this horrible act was carried out by well-trained professional killers.
The international airport immediately shut down. The streets of Haiti empty save security forces that patrol the capital. On Wednesday, President Biden acknowledged the tenuous situation in the Caribbean.
We need a lot more information, but it's very worrisome about the state of Haiti.
Acting Prime Minister Claude Joseph declared a state of siege and asserted he was now in power. Moise was the president for 4 years, but over the last few months, opposing forces and protesters have been demanding he step down, with some accusing him of being a dictator. He held on to power past the end of his term this year and ruled by decree for nearly 2 years after the country failed to hold elections. I spoke to President Moise back in 2016 when Hurricane Matthew devastated the country shortly before he took power. When he said he was looking for Haiti to recover from its troubled past, where over half the population lives in poverty.
On peut dire presque 30 à 40% du pays, l'État n'est pas présent. Moi, je vais travailler pour que l'État soit présent à travers tout le pays.
So many questions still about what happened there. It's intriguing that some of the alleged gunmen spoke American accented English.
Yeah.
But Vlad, for a lot of people, all they know about Haiti is tragedies like this, bizarre circumstances. But you've worked there. Your parents are from there.
Right.
What's the bigger picture?
In the bigger picture, Tony, and you're right, I have worked there since the start of my career, and generally it's been around tragic situations. It's been around natural disasters, political turmoil. But here's what people should remember about Haiti. In 1779, we just celebrated Independence Day in this country. A force of Haitian free blacks fought alongside American colonists in a battle against British forces in Savannah. Haitians have been here in the United States since the very beginning. In fact, the American Revolution and in part the French Revolution led to Haiti gaining its independence from France in 1801. But here's what happened after that revolution. The only free independent black republic in the Western Hemisphere is a miracle. But in 1825, that young country was forced to pay reparations to the French slaveholders that they had overthrown, or France would again invade and enslave the island. And that debt took 122 years to pay off and made the country chronically insolvent, which, coupled with political corruption, created the climate of instability, which the country has never fully recovered from after that debt was settled in 1947. I know, it's mind-blowing, and a lot of people don't know this. That debt was eventually settled in 1947. The 50s, and from the period of the 1950s to the 1980s, brought corrupt regimes, the Duvalier regime, and subsequent incompetent, chaotic leadership. Of course, you had the natural disasters, the 2010 earthquake, which, again, the country has not recovered from. So Haiti, as a country that has gained its independence, has been on the losing end of things because of forces beyond their control.
Did you just tell us that the former slaveholders in France are the ones who got reparations from
That's
Haiti,
what he said.
bankrupting the country?
Yes.
We talk about the 2010 earthquake a lot. They were really on the way to doing a lot better as a country when that happened.
I had visited Haiti as a young man, as a child, essentially, and it was, if you actually look at pictures of Haiti from the 1940s and the 1950s, it looks like Havana. It looks like all the other Caribbean capitals that are in the Caribbean right now. But because of this incompetent leadership, that's where we are. And you're right, I've covered the tragedies that have occurred there for many years. It's how I got my start in journalism during the 2010 earthquake, and it breaks my heart every single time. Haitians everywhere are mourning today.
Reparations for slaveholders is a new one.